Trump is demanding answers. Trump assassination attempt was an inside job, according to Steve Bannon, who is on the Jimmy Dore show. So Jimmy Dore is having Steve Bannon on because he's that left wing.
Come see us.
Nope. There you go. And boring. And boring.
Trump said yesterday, I think, that he wants details provided.
Epic Times. That's where Jimmy's getting his news from, the Epic Times. I mean, it's a little on the nose. I mean, why doesn't he just sign up to be one of the tenant media people at this point?
About his 2 assassination attempts. President Trump said he wants the Secret Service to provide him with information about the 2 attempts on his life last year, including details about both suspects, Ryan Routh and Thomas Matthew Crooks. I'm entitled to know. I want to find out about the 2 assassins. Why did the one guy have 6 cell phones, and why did the other guy have foreign apps? Ruth had multiple cellular phones in his car, and regarding the apps, Trump was...
I don't know. Wouldn't somebody who was going to try and kill the president, wouldn't they have a lot of shit like that? Wouldn't they gear up? Wouldn't they have a plan? Wouldn't they try all these things? Like, why is any of this a fucking surprise?
Referencing to reports citing anonymous sources that Crook's phone had foreign encrypted apps on it.
All right. Yeah, we've heard about this. Telegram. That counts. Telegram is a WeChat. Like both of those are foreign encrypted apps.
The president alleged that the information related to the attempts was withheld by Joe Biden's administration. No more holding.
Oh, well, if Trump alleges it, I mean, I don't even know why you're so right, Jimmy. I don't know. We have to instantly take everything Trump says seriously. It's not like he stopped talking about it.
Back because of Biden, I'm entitled to know, and they held it back long enough. Trump told newspapers, no excuses. So, by the way, authorities have released few details about Crooks to the public, and Crooks' family has not released a statement since the assassination attempt.
And you'd think they'd have a good press agent by now. And, shit, they should be in talks with Netflix, I would think.
No motive for the shooting has been publicly established. So who do you think tried to kill Trump? I thought it was...
Jesus Christ. Look at the guest list at Jimmy Dore's show. Fucking this dude. Now, granted, I guess you could still hold on to your, left-wing bona fides if you... had Steve Bannon on, because this guy actually went to jail for ripping off maggots, stealing money from Trump supporters. So, if he's done one good thing, I suppose.
The globalists and, the deep state that didn't want to...
Yeah, it was totally deep state. Yeah. It wasn't just some dude. In this day and age, where can you even get a gun? Much less multiple cell phones. Nobody can afford those.
And the Ukraine war. Because as Julian Assange taught us, those wars are not meant to be won. They're meant to be ongoing because it's one big money grift. It's a money funneling. The Ukraine war is that's why they didn't want any oversight on any of the money sent there.
We had first of all, most of the money wasn't sent there. It was sent to American companies, and their goods were sent overseas. The money didn't go there. Secondly, we have Republican Congresspeople and Senate working groups that went there multiple times, dipshit. But again, do you think he doesn't know this, or do you think he just avoids that kind of information because it fucks with his narrative, or do you just think he's dumb? Honestly, the way he talks about it, I think he's just fucking stupid.
And now Zelensky's saying he doesn't know where $100 billion went, and he wants more money. And
no, he's just saying it didn't come to him because it didn't go to Ukraine. It went to American companies to make shit, and then we sent the stuff.
So who do you think was trying to kill Trump, and why aren't they still trying? So just let me ask you that. Who do you think was trying to kill Trump?
I think who trying to kill Trump?
Deep state, radical, somebody, leftists, Muslim Brotherhood, China.
I warned the president about this a year before. I said it publicly when Robert Kagan. It's out in plain sight. Robert Kagan is the public intellectual. I think he's over at the Atlantic now. He's the husband of Victoria Nuland,
Yeah.
who's the architect? Who's the architect of the color revolution in Ukraine?
Yeah, there wasn't a color revolution. It was Euromaidan, and they just wanted to be a part of Europe, and it was pretty cut and dry. And Yanukovych was a puppet of Russia. He lives there now.
So Kagan's one of the biggest public intellectuals we have. I think it's in January 1st, 23 or 24. He does a 5,000 word essay in the Washington Post on New Year's Day. It talks about Trump as Caesar and kind of makes the case that we're looking for a Brutus, that Brutus is, would be a hero. It goes back to the first term of President Trump. Remember the Public Theater in New York?
Yeah, but that, both of these assholes weren't the kind of people who were reading long, essays in the fucking Washington Post or the New York Times. These guys watched Alex Jones, and it was Alex Jones who said, if somebody knocked off Trump, we could, his martyrdom would build momentum and help us establish a truly MAGA-oriented government.
Out there in Shakespeare in the Park, they had to play Julius Caesar, and Caesar was dressed as Trump. He had the blue suit, the red tie, the yellow hair. Portia is Melania. I mean, this wasn't subtle. It was up in your face. And people, the elite in New York, gave a standing ovation every night when the assassins, the senators, assassinate Trump. They have a standing ovation. The elite.
Right. What the fuck does that have to do with some dude in Butler, Pennsylvania? Or somebody in Florida who's clearly wacko?
It's in this country.
And again, do you think these guys, either of these assholes, watch Shakespeare?
That's who killed him. That's who tried to kill him. I warned him. I said, Kagan is the Washington Post is the hometown paper for the imperial capital. I said they basically.
Yeah, but not for Pennsylvania, not for Butler, Pennsylvania.
They gave moral justification. They're looking for their Brutus. Every night on TV, how Trump's a dictator, Trump's awful, this poison that was put out there.
Yeah, and it wasn't a lefty that went after him.
Every single day. Who tried to kill him? The apparatus did. Okay.
No, one of his supporters did, who thought I guess he wasn't going far enough, or agreed with Alex Jones that he was better as a martyr.
Okay. Now they got some assassins, just like the Lee Harvey Oswalds, the chumps you get that could be the front man.
Or chumps tend to seize these kind of moments because they're fucking chumps.
He was even the front man. But my point is, you've got the kid in Pennsylvania and this goofball from doing the Ukraine work down at the golf course in Palm Beach.
So Steve,
no, the deep. It's not even a deep state. I don't even call it deep state. It's up in your face when you're sitting there. Like President Trump put me in charge.
Yes, it's the shallow
Charge
state.
in the first year of with Eric Prince of trying to get us out of Afghanistan.
And you did a great job. Yeah, the first year of his presidency, he put you and Eric Prince in charge of getting us out of Afghanistan. And thank God you were there to get us to stay there the entirety of his first term.
And they'll sit there. They will. And look, I came out of the Pentagon. I worked there as a junior officer. I was a Grundoon back in President Reagan's first term, 19.
Yeah, what happened during that term? Ran Contra and that kind of shit?
1981 to 1983. And these folks today, they'll sit right there in a briefing and look you in the eye and lie to you. A bald-faced lie.
How would you know you're not in the briefings? Trump kicked you to the curb and isn't inviting you in and prefers Elon Musk over you, who you hate.
The system has its own way they're going to roll. They don't care if it's Bernie Sanders or AOC or Donald Trump or whoever. They got their own way they're going to roll. And the way they're going to roll, it's an imperial power.
Wait a minute. Then how'd they miss? If it's an imperial power and they have all this control and they run all this shit and it's the elites and they have all this stuff, how do they miss? How do they miss twice? But how do they miss it all? What the fuck is that? I'm dead serious. Like if that's the deep state and the Illuminati, the fuck does anybody have to be afraid of? These assholes can't hit the broadside of a barn. They aim at the president and kill a firefighter. That's the Illuminati. That's the deep state. That's who we have to worry about. Oh dear God, these are the people. I guess they need to stop going to the Bohemian Grove and start going to a fucking shooting range or something. This is garbage. You're talking out of your ass. You're trying to cover for the fact that his followers are fucking lunatics.
They're like a Praetorian Guard. They will pick
You're good.
and choose.
Hey, don't forget to quote 1984 and Brave New World and Animal Farm while you're at it.
Who kind of the front man is, like of Joe Biden, and we now know that Biden was selected. We now know that Biden really had charge of it. That has to be as serious investigation as anything we've done in history.
Yawn.
That Pam Bondi's got to get on top of that. I think a special prosecutor ought to be on top of that. Everything.
Yes, special prosecutors are apparently illegal, according to Eileen Cannon. So I guess they'll use the precedent of Eileen Cannon to get it kicked to the curb. What are they? Are like independent counsels only illegal in Florida?
From the stolen 2020 election to jail.
When they're only illegal in Florida if you always your entire life have lived less than a 9-minute cab drive from Jeffrey Epstein's house. If that's who the defendant is, then you're in the clear.
6 to the vast criminal conspiracy to try to lock President Trump up, to who ran the White House, and when did they really know that he had dementia or he couldn't do it? Now they're all coming out clear. Oh yeah, I knew her numbers. I knew she was going to lose. I knew the numbers weren't there, or I knew he had dementia. That's all lies. Up until 10 or 11 o'clock that night, you didn't hear any of these people saying that. They weren't saying it.
Well, why? First of all, I don't believe you. But secondly, why would they? Why would you say that shit leading up to the night up? Why would you say Monday, like, oh shit, we're gonna lose tomorrow? I got the numbers right here.
At all. That night before and the morning of, they're sitting there talking, and how Kamala's going to win, the university's going to turn out, the urban areas are going to turn out. Joe Biden.
Yeah, it's weird. The 4 million voters that got registered, just somehow their registrations just poof.
Joe Biden's their supporter. Right, all of you never heard any of this until Trump blew her out, and so that all has to be investigated. But I think it's very dear. This is why what Elon's doing, and I don't agree with Elon on a lot of stuff, but this kind of armor-piercing shell that is.
Oh, fuck off! It didn't take him long, did it? The armor-piercing shell, the tip of the spear, and other military phrases.
Right, that is DOGE, is getting to the heart, I think, of a lot of things in the administrative state.
No, they aren't. And also, what he means is they're attacking the only levers of power the administration has. Get rid of the Department of Education while Trump's in there. He will be unable to affect change in the education programs that it pays for. The funds will still go out, but he won't have any leverage because he doesn't have a Department of Education to actually act through.
The next thing it has to do is the deep state. When I say the deep state, that's this interlocking between parts of the Defense Department, parts of the FBI.
Oh, yeah, parts. Everybody's parts, yeah. And the parts you don't like, the parts that follow the law, the parts that aren't loyalists or whatever, get the fuck out of here.
Parts of the Justice Department, parts of DHS, parts of CIA. And
well, if they're just parts, what about the other parts? Because the rest of it isn't on the team? What makes those folks the deep state and not the other part that's on your side?
Other elements in DNI, those interlocking groups have this kind of permanent Praetorian Guard.
No, say Praetorian Guard one more time.
They
That makes
run
it, it sounds so official. By the way, Jimmy doesn't understand what you're saying
American
at all.
Empire. They run the hegemon.
And so why did
like
they?
I said, as soon as Afghanistan and Iraq's over, they'll figure out how to get you in Ukraine, and that'll be the next money. That'll be the next cash cow.
Sorry, we're not in Ukraine, and they didn't figure out how to get us in Ukraine. Russia started it. Russia's trying to get us in Ukraine, I guess, to keep spending money
Until they figure out something else.
And so exactly. So why, if
yeah, just gibberish. We're like no one's going to come away with any information worth a fuck in this situation.